In our team survey a few months ago, you made your requests, and tonight we're tackling one of your top requests for a team training. And that topic is overcoming objections and following up. And here to train you are two of TMA's top leaders. We love you guys. Loryn Copley and Ellen Elias. Thank you both for stepping out and being of service to TMA. We so appreciate you. Loryn Copley, the famous Loryn Copley, is a former Manhattan gal where she held a really successful career as a graphic designer, art, and creative director. And in 2000, as with so many others, she fell victim to the falling economy and found herself laid off 3 times in a 6-month period. Oh, it's so brutal. She went from an office on Park Avenue to the unemployment line. And realizing then that there had to be a better way. While she continued on the traditional path of starting her own advertising and design business, Loryn began seeking another plan for her future. Smart girl. Even though successful, Loryn realized she was still working an old economy business by trading her time for money. She wanted to find a way to leverage her time and develop residual income. Finally, after 11 years as a business owner, Loryn discovered network marketing. Yay! And fell madly in love with the ability to build a team, help others become the best version of themselves, and take a deep dive onto a path of financial freedom. Loryn's been in this business for 3.5 years and has never looked back. Her growth is attributed to attending consistently the Isagenix Core 4 events every year, and also the 5-day training intensive with David Wood, Amplified Living, and Marina Worre's Network Marketing Women's Conference. The lovely Ellen. Ellen's been on her Isagenix adventure for over 2 years now. Looking for a healthy lifestyle, she started off on the Yellow Brick Road. As she furthered her journey, Ellen made the decision to share with others, build a team, and grow her freedom business. To join Isagenix as a business builder, she had to leave the network marketing business she had been building for 15 years previously. Oh my God, so brave. Ellen wanted to truly impact others through her beautiful heart of service and the amazing Isagenix nutrition. As a committed leader, Ellen regularly attends the major Isagenix events, including the Core 4. Every time we see her or speak to her, Ellen is such a breath of fresh air, sunshine, kindness, and positivity. We're all so blessed to have her on our team and to be on this incredible journey together. Again, ladies, we super appreciate your commitment to our team. And now I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, so I guess I'm going first. Okay. First of all, that just warmed my heart, Mark. Thank you. And thank you and Lynn for all you do. And I have the privilege of sharing follow-up. And I can't sue everybody who's here, so I have no idea what level, where we are in network marketing. But one thing, if you hear nothing I say tonight, is if you don't get a phone number, you don't have a contact, okay? If you hear nothing I say, and I mean, this is my 17th year in network marketing. Am I still messing that up? You betcha. There's somebody right now on my radar that I cannot get in touch with. But so, I mean, it's okay. But that point being how important those numbers are. Social media is amazing, but the phone calls, or, having that phone number is important. So everything I'm going to share comes from this book. Guys, it's the bomb. It's GoPro with Eric Worre, and it's follow-up. He's on YouTube, all over YouTube. I'm a visual, so reading is great. You can notice my tabbies. I'm not giving you anything that's not in this book because it's tried and true. I am one about just giving people the resources and let them learn on their own. And that's number one. It shows you what level they're ready to grow. Follow-up is important. And I just want to tell you that I did a little homework. And this is why I love when Lynn and Mark ask us to teach, because guess what? We have to brush up a little bit. So 92% of all customers or interactions still happen over the phone. It takes an average of 8 cold call attempts to reach a prospect. Okay, so the key in that is to be persistent and determined. And I know y'all have heard all this before. Um, he also said something that I had never, the best time to call is between 4 and 5. And another thing to know is you are going to interrupt somebody. So these little things that we tell yourself, oh, I don't want to call right now because it's this time. I don't want to call. Oh, this is whatever. You are going to interrupt them, and it's okay. You just, what I do is I say, hey, is this a good time to chat? Always ask permission to chat, and if they say no, say, well, what would be better for you, tomorrow or Thursday? So, what I always like to say is before you get on that call, you should know what your calendar looks like. You should know when you have a window of opportunity to talk to them. Another key important thing is if you say you calling them at 5 p.m., you set the alarm on your phone, you set the timer on your microwave, I don't care, or on your Google Calendar, because what's going to set you apart from the next person trying to get them to buy the next thing? So that's another thing is in when you do what you say. So if you say, I will follow up at 5 p.m., you don't call them at 5:30, you call them at 5 o'clock. We're all human. We all forget. We all slip up. And if you just call and say, I totally screwed up, I'm so sorry, or just be brutally honest, follow up. Everybody has their own system. I'm just going to tell you what works for Ellen. I'm old school. I'm not as automated. And I came from the IT world, which is really interesting. But I have index cards. And I put them in alphabetical order. That's just how I roll. And the ones that I need to call stays up in the front. And once I make that contact. Also, another thing that works is if you have a Monday, 1 through 31st. And if they say, you know what, end of the week's better. So then I'll stick them at the end of the week. Or what I do is I put them in my calendar on that day. I clip them to that. So I am calling them and they're not going to they don't fall through the cracks. So the alphabetical list, and then just my notes, left message, or TXT, I text, and I sometimes write what I text them. So let's say you get in touch with that person. One thing and this is all in the GoPro book, you always, one thing I love what he says is, we don't want to be the go-to person. We want to just set that appointment, give them a little bit of information, and show them where to go to get more information for many reasons. You want to be duplicatable, and you want to let them know where the information is, so when they start coming into your organization and they want to start sharing, they're not going to have to call you every step of the way. We handicap people when we do that. So I had a girl today, and she was like, I don't know what vitamins to take. I was like, go to Isoproduct. I am not going to sit there and go through that. I am not a scientist. I didn't create these things. So you go and do your homework. Now, what I did, I made a note. And so on Wednesday, I'm going to call and say, did you have an opportunity to go to Isoproduct yet? Because I'm working on her to order ship and stuff like that. So, every situation's a little bit different. But if you can remember, and everybody that knows GoPro, and I don't have a gallery view, so there's no raise of hands or anything, but how many of y'all know, if I, would you? Okay, Loryn said, yay. So if I send you an email for a quick video, would you watch it? Because that's going to let me know how interested they are. If they say, no, probably not. And some people won't. Some people just want to do that face-to-face interaction. Well, would you have time on your calendar to meet me for coffee? Or would you want to come to my healthy happy hour that I have? Would you come? So it's always would you? But you create your calendar. Y'all, if you don't hone in on an event or give them something to do, then they are running your calendar. They are running your show. So would you? And there's so many notes I wrote. I'm sorry. The other thing is, how am I on time? Oh, I love this. I just got to share this. If your lips are moving, you need to be pointing, reading, introducing, or telling a story. You don't give them all the facts. I heard that today, and I've probably heard that before. In other words, you're probably talking too much. And I know I call that virtual vomit, because I did that at the very beginning, because got excited, just got in the moment. So, but I love that. You don't ever want to just give them all the information. Like I send them the video, and then I always, the page is 48 to 49, guys, because we don't have enough. 15 minutes is just not enough time. But it's if I would you. So what you're doing is you're setting that, getting them to say yes to that. And then you want to go into the next commitment with them. And you're just sowing the seeds. You're sowing seeds. Because I'm going to tell you what, in this business, you are the, we're not hunters. And I love how he talks about that. We're actually sowing into people, sowing and finding out what their need. And you got to get yourself out the picture. I say this all the time. I didn't make those products. So if I don't, you had to get the emotional part out of it. They're not telling you no. Number one, a no usually means that they don't have enough information. So how are we on time? I'm sorry, y'all. I don't have a calendar. Oh, we good?
You're okay, Ellen. You got
okay.
A couple more minutes.
A couple more minutes. Okay. So what I want you just to remember, I think everybody needs to have this book. If you're serious about growing a network marketing business, they're so cheap, and then they're online audio books. When I'm walking, I started doing power walks. You just got to get this in your brain, because you know what, if this is kind of like a book you pick up and you pick back up and you put down. You're always going, but remember, it takes an average person to make a decision 4 to 6 times. Okay. So they're not telling you no this time. They're not putting you off. Get all that emotion out of it. And just remember that you're here to serve them. You're here to get more questions out of them, so you know where to lead them. So the key is, number one, don't take emotion. Don't be emotional about this. Have the servant mind. If I would you, so you know how committed they are on this. Okay, and remember, there's so many stories that it was like the 10th or the 20th exposure. Poor Julianne, I don't even know how many times she reached out to me. Mark and Lynn sat with me over that compensation plan. It took me 5 times to get it. And can I tell you, when I got it, you guys remember that? I'll remember everything about that. So just remember, guys, it's not about you. It's how you can serve them. But you've got to follow up. And they are waiting for you to follow up. So get all those things. Oh, it's not a good time at lunchtime. Oh, they're putting the babies to bed at this time. Or, I don't want to disturb them. We're interrupting their day. With a phone call, we're interrupting this day, and it's okay. Just ask permission, and then set that time. You look at your calendar and have some times in your head that you can get back with them. So I hope I covered enough here.
Beautiful, Ellen.
Beautiful.
That was
Thank
awesome,
you.
girl.
That was great,
Thank
Ellen.
You. All right. Thank you.
A lot, girl.
A lot of ground in a short time.
Thanks, Ellen.
Y'all reach out if you have any questions.
If anyone has questions, just post them under this recording, and Ellen will make sure to answer them for you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
jump over to Miss Loryn now.
Wow, that is hard to follow up, you guys, because Ellen was so spot on with a lot of the things that you shared, Ellen. And I want to thank you so much for all the things and the nuggets that you brought to us, because I was taking down some notes, and just some things that when you said, like, if you don't get another person's phone number, you do not have a lead, you do not have a connection. If you do not get that person's number, you're giving away your power. And I'm just going to tell you that when I'm out in public and people ask me for a business card, I said, you know what? Facebook is my business card. Are you on Facebook? That's how I connect with people. So I just want to put that little nugget out there. And your servant mind that you brought up, Ellen, thank you so much, because that is what this whole opportunity is about. And it's having that servant mindset, and everybody taking into, like, when they're presenting and having conversations, it is my responsibility to share this information with you, because when you say that, I keep saying it, it removes you from the conversation. You can even say, if I don't tell you this, you could be mad at me in 2 months. So you just got to bear with me. People always will chuckle during that. But what I'm here to talk to you about tonight is, closing. And CJ and I were talking about this evening, and he's like, Loryn, you know what? You really don't close. He said, you have conversations with people. And we were talking, and Isagenix teaches this to us, is that the stories sell, facts tell. And people buy with emotion. They just justify their purchase with facts. So as I'm going through a conversation with somebody, it might have been after 1 or 2 follow-ups that Ellen has so eloquently told us about. And I'm like, okay, where are you in the process? And they might say, well, I'm just kind of not sure. I'm like, okay, well, where are you feeling stuck, or where are you feeling hung up? They might say, well, I just don't know. I'm just not sure. I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about it. And through every conversation that I have, you guys, I don't wait until the end to pre-qualify or ask somebody for their clothes. Like throughout an entire conversation, I'm always asking them questions, such as if they tell me that they want to lose weight, I'm like, why is that important to you? Well, they give me the reason. I said, okay, I want you to imagine 3 months from now, 30 days from now, 6 months from now, you standing in front of the mirror and you having like those pants that are fitting bigger on you. And I said, does that excite you? They say, yes, that would be awesome. So I'm getting them, I'm leading them, I'm creating that vision for them. Yes, that sounds awesome. I'm like, you can totally do this. Most often when people hesitate, it's a lot of times it's just because of price, which we know. So what I do as I'm having the conversation, okay, so can you kind of, we have that question of you walking, standing in front of the mirror, what are your goals? Then I say, okay, I need to understand, what you're presently doing in your day right now. So I just want you to pause and think for me. What are you doing for your breakfast? Are you grabbing coffee on your way to work? Mid-morning, mid-afternoon, what do you do for lunch? Can you and I just walk them through mid-afternoon, your dinner time. Do you go out to dinner 3 or 4 times a week? Are you going out to lunch? People are like, oh yeah, I do go out quite a bit. So I said, think in your mind what that number might look like to you. And more often than not, you guys, it's $25 or $30. On occasion, it's somebody that's having, that might not eat breakfast, but when they give me that number, more often than not, it's like, well, the great news is, I'm like, you're going to be saving money with Isagenix. So I said, does that sound like something that excites you a little bit? They say yes. I move through the conversation. So you go to the grocery store once a week, right? Yeah. Then so what you're doing right now and doing Isagenix makes absolutely it's not going to make sense. What you're going to do is stop doing what you're doing here and just invest your money over into Isagenix. Does that make sense? Do you guys get that? And they're like, oh my gosh, yes, totally. So I eliminate kind of objections and before they come up. So when it comes to the end, because I'm always asking somebody, does that make sense to you? And if I hear a pause or anything, I address it immediately. I don't brush over it. And what that enables me to do then is address the situation or that question, because a lot of times people are like, what's the special thing about the vitamins? And I do exactly what Ellen so eloquently stated, where I'm like, are you in front of your computer right now? Yes. I'm like, go to isagenixhealth.net, and I take them to the multimedia newsletter tab. I'm like, go to winter 2014. That's where you can read an entire newsletter about these vitamins. Does that sound good? They're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And more often than not, when I point them to that for them and say, I want to empower you to know where you can find the information, because that's where I went to learn. And people are like, oh my God, that's so cool. So when I give them that end result or that place to go, guess what? They're like, oh, because they know they have the resource. A lot of times people are like, okay, well, I really think I want to go with the vitamins. Or if they don't, I meet everybody where they are. I always, always, always meet a person where they are. My responsibility is to present these options to you. I'm going to go through from the top down. I present the business builder pack, the value pack, the ultimate pack, the introductory pack. Okay. I don't care if I know that I present it every single time. And when I do that, I then say, and you guys keep hearing me go through this, like, is it okay that I do that with you? Yes. It's not my responsibility to assume what will or will not work for you. Does that sound good? Yes. So I'm creating these yeses, and I'm also these yeses, and this person knowing that I'm looking out for them, they're knowing that I have their back, and I'm creating a relationship with them throughout this entire process. And if you're not comfortable asking at the end of every conversation, when we've kind of gone through, because I say, well, as we go through, well, we had a lot to talk about today. We went through over a lot of information. Are there any questions that you have unanswered that you need me to address for you before you get started? And they're like, no, I'm pretty good. And more often than not, you guys, because I take the time and get them knowing that I'm on their side, I'm not trying to push them into anything. And I tell them that, like, my responsibility is not to convince you. I'm not here to do that. My responsibility, and you need to think of me as like a little person with a little information hat on. Like, I'm your librarian. You want information, I'm going to get you information. And when you have those people, you guys, that might be hesitant, that might be a little, then that's okay. Like, don't stress out. What was there a question? No, okay. So I just want, like, don't stress out about that, because this is a business of talking to people and identifying with people. And there are going to be some people that aren't ready, but that's okay. You've done your responsibility to share the information with them. I always ask, I always actually kind of share my story to you guys, is because stories really help people identify.
I wanted to send
And
these.
when people go through their meals and they tell me kind of what they've done, I share, I was doing all the right things, eating organic, blah, blah, blah. All I did was introduce isogenics nutrition into my routine. That is it. And that is when everything changed for my body. So you are doing something right now. Like, you've been doing whatever you've been doing, it's not working. I'm going to be honest. It's not working for you. You were like right where I was. So just borrow my belief until you get your own, because you're going to get it. So, and people always really resonate with that. Just borrow my belief. This is, for me, it's been 3.5 years. So, and I just say, this company's not going to let you down. How good does that feel? This company will not let you down. If you do not get your sexy back, you're going to get your money back. And when you get all of your friends together and you guys are getting your sexy on together, that's going to be one happy neighborhood. And everybody, like, kind of, will chuckle. And CJ, I just want to, okay, 4 minutes, but CJ brought something up to me that I wanted to make sure that I brought into light, because CJ's a marketing person, a sales person. And he said that what I'm doing is actually called a trial close, meaning I'm just asking questions. I'm getting people, I'm relating with people. Does that sound, I present them with information. Does that sound fair? Yes. If they have a question, I address it immediately. I don't skip over it. And scientifically, CJ had told me that people always like 4 options to make a buying decision. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, we're doing that anyway when we present the value pack, that, when we present all 4 packs. So I wanted to bring that into light. Hopefully this was helpful, because it's very easy if you can be comfortable asking questions throughout the process, so that when you come to the end of the conversation, people already know that you have their back. They know you're not trying to convince them. If you have the posture, it's just like, I'm here just to support you. I'm here to give you information. And like, I so want you to get started right now, but if it's not the right time for you, I am not going anywhere. And people, like, it's just everybody just be you, and just, you know, I think if you incorporate those sentences that I keep saying over and over and over again, you're going to start seeing a big, you know, a shift in your posture. It is my responsibility. I'm not to assume. I'm your information tour guide. And then, do you have any unanswered questions that I can address before you get started? But I'm fun.
Yay!
Yay! You did it with 3 minutes to spare. You go, girl.
Is there anything else that you might have wanted me to cover that I didn't touch on?
I think you did a phenomenal job, and you covered it so succinctly. I love the asking questions. I love asking permission. I love that you're a tour guide or a librarian and you're laying that out for them, and pointing them to information. I love that you say it's my responsibility, you know, to make sure that you have the information you need. I love something else you said, which is, if it turns out it's not the right time for you, I'm not going anywhere. So much of that, Loryn, is you're giving them a full hug of support without putting pressure on them, but you're moving them through your questions. You're moving them through a process, but it feels like you're putting them first. It's not about you. And it, just like what Ellen said in her training tonight, it's not about you. It's about serving them. And that's exactly how it feels in the way you're closing them with this. It's wonderful. Go ahead. Go ahead. Loryn, we can't hear you. Are you muted?
Oh, I just thought of one more. So
Yeah,
if somebody tells me that now is not the right time, you know, I've got a notebook, you guys. Every single page is reflective of every single conversation that I'm having with somebody. So like when Ellen does her, so this is a tie-in with follow-up. If somebody's not ready,
Right.
you are taking those notes so that when you follow up, Ellen gets the, you know, tells me I need to follow up, and, you know, follow up with me in a couple months. Yeah, that's no problem. I've already learned that she's going on vacation, that she's, you know, or stuff going on with the job. So by doing the follow-up, recite those notes.
Right. That's one thing I wanted to say. I had a girl, she had all the information. I mean, like I thought she was on, like we were signing up tonight. And I saw on Facebook, she posted she had a bad day. She was drinking wine. So the next morning I called her at work and I said, you know, I'm just following up. You know, I saw last night on Facebook, you had a rough day. Where are your thoughts? Is there anything that I can share with you to go ahead and let's get you started? Let's get that body that you know, we talked about, yada, yada. She said, I'm not ready. I said, okay. I said, with your permission, because this is key, with your permission, I said, can I call you in 30 days? And she said, that would be great. So guess who's getting a call from me? But I asked their permission because, you know, they really, I think that's just huge. Just letting them know that I'm not going anywhere. I'm calling you back because you don't know what's going to happen in 30 days.
You're also getting another yes when you ask permission.
Correct.
Which is so effective. You guys, you were rock stars tonight. Lovely, fantastic, super helpful training. Everyone, remember to put your notes, your takeaways down below the recording once it's posted. We have a contest going on. Thank you guys so much. You're wonderful.
Thank
so
you.
Helpful. Great, over the top, fabulous training. We love you both. Now everyone jump on to ISA Warrior Challenge.
Yes.
We're going to have some great training tonight for everybody. Thank you again, Ellen.
Beautifully done.
Thank you.
Rock stars. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Night.